Okay, let's call Texas Senator John Cornyn. 972-239-1310.
Good morning, Senator Cornyn's office.
Hello, my name is Rudy Davis, and I live in zip code 75126, and I'd like to leave a message for Senator John Cornyn.
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay, well, I run a prison ministry for several years. I have a website where I advocate for the unjustly incarcerated. The name of the website is Year of Jubilee. Jubilee spelled with one E, just like it is in the King James Bible. yearofjubilee.com. And on that website, I believe that the people on that website are innocent, and I advocate for them, and I put together their stories so the public can know the details about their cases, because I believe we have a massive problem with our criminal justice system. I think the ex-governor Rick Perry agrees with me on that, because I've heard him speak about need for reform in our criminal justice system. And anyway, I just recently learned about a prisoner named Barbara Holder. She's been in prison over 20 years. And I was going to start communicating with her to try to learn her story. She's maintained her innocence for over 20 years. She was charged with murdering her husband, but she says she didn't do it. And then not only that, but her son was killed while he was investigating the matter, and she believed he was killed under suspicious circumstances. Well, here's the challenge that I've got with the Texas prison system, and I've lived in Texas my whole life. I'm a fourth-generation Texan. My son is a fifth-generation Texan, and I deal with prisoners all over this country. When I started to fill out the forms needed to speak to Barbara Holder, who's, I think, in Gatesville, Texas prison, it has all these rules about I can't have a prepaid phone service for my cell phone, like Metro PCS, and so that phone number would, I couldn't be able to speak to her, which is crazy. Every other prison system in this country allows the prisoner to call my cell phone, except for the Texas prisons. And then not only that, there's this silly rule that some bureaucratic red tape person put up that when I speak to Barbara, I can't put her on a speakerphone. And I don't know if you're aware of the Texas recording laws, but it's a one consent party state, and I know why they did that. They did that because they're putting innocent people in prison all over the state of Texas, and when they call and when they want to tell their story, right, when they want to tell the public because they didn't get a fair trial in the criminal justice system, and I need to say this again in case you didn't catch it, I've lost complete faith in the criminal justice system. It is not fair anymore whatsoever. So the prisoners need to tell their story, right, and I got to put her on a speakerphone so I can record her voice and say, why didn't you get a fair trial? What's your story? Why should people believe that you're innocent? I'm not asking people to take my word for it, but some bureaucratic red tape individual says you can't put prisoners on a speakerphone, and so that prohibits me from collecting the stories of any Texas prisoners. And that's not the case for any other state in all of the United States. Any other state, you can put the prisoner on a speakerphone and let them speak, and you can share that on social media so that people can make up their own mind if this prisoner got a fair deal or not. I think it's incredibly wicked. I am a man of faith. I believe in the Bible, to not only unjustly incarcerate people like Barbara Holder, but then to say there's no way that Barbara Holder can ever speak to the public again, because we're not even going to let you put her on a speakerphone to record her voice. So she's been sitting there for 20 years, and now we got a bureaucratic rule that says we can't put prisoners on a speakerphone. So my message to Senator John Cornyn is to please look in. I don't expect him to fix the criminal justice system. I think the Lord Jesus is going to have to come back to fix that. It's so bad. But at least try to change this rule about why in the world is Texas so special that we can't put prisoners on a speakerphone. You would only do that if you're scared to death that you got a bunch of innocent people in prison, and they're going to start exposing, the system on how they got unjustly incarcerated and wicked people put them in prison. And I'm talking about the judges and the prosecutors and the whole system. So I could go on for hours. I'm very passionate about this issue, and I got like 30 to 40 political prisoners that I advocate for, and Barbara Holder is not a political prisoner, but I'm in the beginning phases of investigating her case, and there's a lot of people that believe that she is innocent. She even has a website called barbaraholder.us, but I can't tell you how annoyed I am that I am a native Texan and my own state won't even let me record on a speakerphone a prisoner's voice. So I hope I didn't go too fast for you. I know I'm throwing a lot at you, and I'm very passionate, and I have a lot of strong beliefs, but my goal is just to simply get a message to John Cornyn to look into this rule about why we can't put prisoners on a speakerphone. And he may think it's an insignificant thing, but it's very significant, because it's prohibiting a voice for the voiceless, right? The prisoners don't have any voice. There's very few people that even care about them once they get thrown in prison, and they at least need to be able to tell their story. And because somebody made this stupid rule, they can't even tell their story. Anyway, as you can tell, I can talk forever, but hopefully you got the gist of my message. And if you don't mind, may I ask your name just so I can tell people who I talk to? Sir?
I'm sorry, the phone broke up a little. Can you say that again?
Yeah, did you hear most of the story I said?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you heard about the prison. You heard about I'm annoyed with the prison speaker. Okay, I just wanted to know if I could get your first name so I could tell people who I talk to.
Yes, sir. My name is Hunter.
Hunter. Okay, all right. Could you pass that message on to Senator John Cornyn and tell him how important I think it is, because it's really bad to put somebody in prison and then to take away their voice so they can't even speak on a speakerphone. It's just absolutely silly. And Texas is the only state that I know of that has that silly rule.
Yes, sir. I can definitely convey that information on to him.
Great. Okay, thank you, Mr. Hunter. I really appreciate your time this morning.
No problem, sir, and you have a good day.
Okay, bye-bye.